My name is Mike Sullivan. I'm a former IRS agent. Welcome to my YouTube channel. I worked at IRS over a decade. I've worked, I don't know, about 10,000 cases in my life. I'm a national expert in IRS resolution. I do thank you to my YouTube channel. They're short, they're sweet, to the point. I cut off all the fat of this. By the way, what I try to do is I really try to give you the absolute truth. You know, they say the truth will set you free. It's from the Gospel of John. Well, it is going to set you free, because I want to talk to you today very specifically about what happens if you don't have good IRS records and you're going into a tax audit. It happens all the time. I get a lot of calls, have hundreds of calls, as you can imagine, over the years, wanting to do tax representation. Hey, Michael, Mr. Sullivan, I'm going for an audit. I got lousy records. What do I do? First of all, this is not a self-promotion. There's a lot of people you can do work with. Don't go in by yourself. Always use a former IRS agent. Why? Former IRS agents know the system. It can be any former IRS agent who knows what IRS does during IRS audit procedures. Don't go in by yourself, and I'll tell you why. You don't know what. First of all, when IRS, you go in for an audit, they have a long list of questions they ask you, 50, 60, 70 questions. They find out as much about it as you possibly can. You don't want to get hit with all the penalties that IRS has a bunch of penalties they can hit you with: fraud, accuracy penalty, the tax you could wind up owing. I'm saying if it's $40,000, the penalties can be added on, could be $30,000. You can have a $70,000 debt. Usually, people who do this a lot, they kind of know what to say. They know how to steer IRS around some of the issues. But really more important to get to, if you don't have the records, this is what I'm trying to tell you today. You can do tax reconstruction. On small cases, you can go in by yourself. This is, like I said, ain't a self-promotion. Some people call, I say, hey, do this and this, go in by yourself. It's just easy to do this. Do a tax reconstruction. So what in fact that is, if you have bad records, but you can get them. I had a painter, for instance. He says, Michael, he says, I'll be honest with you. He says, there's no way I can reconstruct. I says, go to the vendors and pick up all the supplies you bought. He says, well, I bought brushes here and paints there. And, well, go ahead and just get those where you paid those bills at, and that's actually proof. Show them the jobs you've done. Evidently, it's gas and everything, driving. Here's the jobs. This is the size of the job. It required this many paints, this many brushes. You can go ahead and recreate your expenses if you're really good at it. Now, if you don't have records at all, you can still use the reconstruction, but you got to use good and convincing reconstructive methods to go ahead and win the case. Now, some of you just don't have any records because they're just not the truth, okay? That's one case. Still, a former IRS agent can probably go ahead and compromise something better so you don't get whacked all completely alongside of your head, and you don't go ahead and you get all these absurd penalties IRS will charge you. But remember, if you do have some record, you have bad records, you can always do a good tax reconstruction on those records, and you can recoup so IRS doesn't have their way with you. So remember, there's always an out. Get someone who's experienced in audit that will kick IRS's ass when they go into the audit. So by the way, I try to share, like I said, everything that I know from IRS to give you stuff. If there's small audits, take those chances by yourself. These cases are over 10, 20,000. You think you're going to get nailed? Don't go in by yourself, okay? Anyway, I really need subscriptions. Apparently, YouTube find that's very important to promote my videos. I don't get subscriptions. I get down on the very bottom. So subscriptions big. You can always like me. It's great. And if you want me to answer a question, I'm happy to do it. If I find the question good, I'm going to make a YouTube. You know why I'm doing this YouTube? Someone went ahead and said, hey, Michael, I got bad records. What do I do? I'm doing this YouTube and honor them for you. Once again, subscription. Ask me all the questions you want. I'm happy to open myself up and give it to you. Have a good one.